everybody, Moto Alonso here. Welcome back to the channel. Have we got a fun test ride today? This is one of my favorite motorcycles, the Triumph Bonneville T-120. So retro, so cool, very British. Let's do a walk around and take it for a ride. All right, beautiful. Here we go, guys. What do we have here? This is a Triumph. It's a Bonneville and it's a T-120. And this particular motorcycle is a Gold Line edition. Silver ice, green, Gold Line. This paint job is custom, so they apply that by hand when they make these. I've noticed Triumph, they release a lot of different variants of the Bonneville T-120. There's a all black version, there's the Gold Line. This year I think there's an Elvis version. They seem to release a lot of different paint colors and a lot of different schemes for this bike, which is cool, very cool. But what we have here is a standard motorcycle, meaning upright seating position, no fairing, very traditional. In fact, think about when you were back in grade school, if your art teacher said wah, 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 and only you could understand it, and what she was saying or he was saying was, I want you to draw me a picture of a motorcycle. This is probably the silhouette that you would draw. Headlight, two wheels, twin engine, classic gas tank, bench seat. I mean, that's about as motorcycle as it gets. So let's just start at the front and we'll work our way back and see what we have here on the Triumph. I don't think those are steel fenders. So, you know, they've been making the Bonneville forever, obviously based on their classic models from the past. But, you know, modern technology, modern manufacturing means on this bike you get a plastic fender, but that's okay. We got Triumph insignia, Brembo brakes. Our shocks are covered by retro shock covers there. Bullet turn signals. This particular motorcycle has Triumph adjustable levers on it, which is pretty cool. Engine guards. Now, this is a 1200cc parallel twin motor. The classic Bonnevilles were, of course, air-cooled. This motorcycle looks like it's air-cooled, but it is actually not. It is liquid-cooled, and a couple of things that tip us off here. Well, one's a radiator, so there's a radiator. So this is a liquid-cooled bike, but it has the air-cooled fins here, which is pretty neat. I mean, I want my classic retro bike to look classic and retro. And then what looks like a carburetor is actually not. This is just a cover that covers the fuel injectors and the air intake. But it looks cool. It looks like it could be a carburetor, which is kind of neat. A retro touch. You have your tank pads here for your knees for a little bit better grip. As mentioned, the beautiful paint job. Retro touches like the chrome gas cap, chrome logos. Bench seat with the white piping on it. That is really cool. Twin rear shocks. We have the pea shooter exhaust on this motorcycle, so the 2-into-2 pea shooters, they sound really good, as you'll hear here in just a second. Classic looking taillight. Everything on this motorcycle is styled to look like a bike from the, you know, the 60s, which is just gorgeous. I love these kind of bikes. I have a thing for older looking motorcycles and older looking cars, and the design on these, it just never goes out of style, right? It's just a beautiful bike. What else can I show you? Oh, over across the pond they call these clocks, but this is our instrumentation. We have a speedometer and a tachometer. There's some other information on there that we can see when we turn the bike on, but I'll show you that here in a second. Specifications real quick. 3.8 gallon gas tank. Depending on how you ride, you're going to get between 50 and 60 miles per gallon with this motorcycle. 1200cc, as I mentioned, liquid cooled, parallel twin. 6-speed transmission, and we also, it looks like a retro bike, which it is, but there's a lot of technology on this motorcycle too. We've got ABS, we have traction control, and I'm about 95% sure we have 2 riding modes on this bike too. So, and cruise control. So you get a lot. You get a lot. There's the cruise control. So well equipped. This is a 2022 example. This bike is priced under $10,000, courtesy of my friends at Dream Machines of Texas. But I know new, these go for between 12 and 15, kind of more 15 out the door, depending on what paint version you get and what model you get. But I know for 2024, I think the Elvis, or it might be a 25, I can't remember, but the Elvis edition of the Triumph Bonneville T-120, they're pricey. You go to your Triumph dealer, and I think they're wanting about 15 or 16 out the door for one of those. So anyway, used market, you're looking at around 10. New market, you're looking at around 15 for one of these. Okay, well, let's gear up and let's take it for a little ride. All right, let's get on this beautiful machine here. Quickly take a look at our instrument panel. Let's see what we got here. So, going from left to right, we have an I button which controls our information just below our speedometer here. So our odometer, our trips, turn signal, horn, cruise control, and this one's very easy to set. It's just go to your speed, push the button, and you're set. I've used this type before. It's very, very simple. We have adjustable levers on this bike, as mentioned. We got our round traditional chrome mirrors. So on our clocks, we have our speedometer, we have our tachometer, and our fuel gauge over here on the right side. Oh, I didn't mention horsepower and torque numbers. So 75-ish horsepower at a higher RPM, around 6,000 RPM. But what's nice about these parallel twin Triumph motors is they're very torquey. So we're going to get about 75-ish foot-pounds of torque, but that's coming at a way lower RPM, around 3,000. So this is a great kind of all-around do-everything bike. Sounds good. Dual pea shooter exhaust. Sounds really nice. Let's just start by, we're here in my little parking lot we film our bikes in. Let's just do some figure eights. Notice I didn't start this way with the Road Glide the other week. But this type of motorcycle is so maneuverable, so easy to deal with in the city or in more congested areas. We're looking at about 550 pounds wet. That's approximate, about 550. So, you know, a middleweight motorcycle. Feels good. Gorgeous day here in the Dallas Fort Worth area. Just love that little putt-putt sound when you come to a stoplight on one of these. Very torquey motor, very, very torquey and smooth too. Now I'm leaving my turn signal on here because, to my recollection, I haven't ridden one of these in a while, but I don't believe these are auto-canceling signals. Yeah, they can't be. So I'm going to just push my turn signal and that's going to turn it off. There's no auto-canceling on the turn signals. No worries. Oh, this is so fun. These bikes are just so I don't know what it is about them. They're just so fun. Very, very smooth shifting. There I go with my turn signal again. Gotta push it to cancel it there, Alan. Okay, let's do our railroad track test here. No problem whatsoever. These bench seats on these retro bikes are really nice because if you want to be up, you know, next to the tank, you can. If you want to scoot back a little bit and stretch your legs just a hair, you can. I like that. You can be chill and low stress and low drama on a motorcycle like this. Or if you want to, you know, ride it sporty, you can. It's got the power to do that. It's a very, very fun bike to ride. I guess as motorcyclists, you're always looking for that one bike does everything unicorn motorcycle. They're hard to find. They really are. But if you could have only one, you might throw the Triumph T-120 into that discussion. I don't know. It does a lot of things really good. It's comfortable. It looks good. If you want to ride it a little harder, you know, it's got a little bit of performance. If you want to cruise, you can do that. You can ride two up. I was having this discussion with a friend of mine just the other day about touring on different kind of motorcycles. It's amazing what you see people do. I mean, I've seen people tour across the United States, you know, on monkeys, Honda monkeys or Honda Groms. So you can tour on anything. It's just, how comfortable do you want to be? Right? That's the trade-off. So I guess my point is, I'm just kind of babbling, but my point is you could tour on this bike if you wanted to. You could set this up with panniers and a windscreen, and with cruise control, it would be totally fine touring. You know, almost 4-gallon tank, 50 to 60 a gallon, so you know, it's got decent range for touring, I would say. So I'm in an upright seating position. As we were talking at the beginning, you know, this is a standard style motorcycle or a naked bike. So, you know, my feet are pretty much right below my knees. And I'm just sitting in a very upright position. Which is nice for scooting around the city or scooting around the suburbs. Wouldn't be too bad for touring, but I think you would eventually you'd want a windscreen of some sort. At least I would. Get it on the highway here for just 2 seconds and see what we think. regular sixth gear at you know, around 70 miles an hour, about 3,000 RPM. Pretty relaxed feeling. I like it. Now I wouldn't want to go, you know, 500 miles in this wind. Give me the windshield, because I'm a windshield weenie and I'm proud. But you could, I mean, you could 100% tour on this bike. And I've seen guys do it too, and gals. Transmission and the shifting is very smooth, very easy. It's just an easy motorcycle to ride. It's just I don't, you know, it's about as blunt as I can be. It's a very fun, easy, low drama type of riding experience. So if you're shopping for a T-120, it just kind of depends, what color do you want? I mean, they come in so many different cool colors and trims. I like this one, this silver ice, and I forget what the green's called. It's not called British green, but it's something green that their wacky marketing department came up with. It's good looking though. It's a good looking motorcycle. Very sharp. If someone said to me, okay, this is the only motorcycle you get for the rest of your life and you're going to ride it, I would say, okay, I'm okay with that. I will do that and I'll be happy about it. Love that sound. It's very sporty. It's very sporty without being annoying. Yeah, Triumph's engineers, they dialed everything in on this bike as far as the retro experience, including the exhaust note. Curves up here. This is so relaxing. It's a relaxing ride. Suspension absorbs railroad tracks and bumps very nicely. No issues. Stop sign to test our brakes. Yeah, I just two-fingered that front brake. It felt fine. Ooh, this is nice in here. There's a few sweeping turns. Not far from our starting point. very torquey motor. You just give it a little and it's, you know, I'm at 3,000 RPM, so that's right where the middle of the torque band is there. And if you just, I mean, it's got plenty of power. I'm not, like we were talking about, if this was the only motorcycle you could ever ride for the rest of your life, I think you'd be pretty happy about it. I would. The only thing you couldn't do with it is go off-road. It's not an adventure bike, but I own an adventure bike, and I'm like one of those 99% touring, street touring adventure bike guys. Yeah, I admit it. I do take it to Starbucks too, but in my defense, I do take it on some really long rides. Just not off-road. Anyway, getting off subject here. No, this bike does everything, you know, pretty well. It does everything pretty well, but it's one of those bikes that's not like there's like one thing it does extremely well, except like sit there and look really good. It sits there in the parking lot or at the coffee shop and just looks amazing. So yeah, it does that very, very well. And it's fun to ride. It really is. This is one of those bikes. It's just a lot of fun. That's what it's all about too, right? That's what this sport is all about. It's got to be somewhat fun. Why do it? Oh, these roads are out of control around here, but it's a good test for sure. Definitely urban riding. Guess I should practice my correct stopping procedure there and come to a complete stop. Look both ways with my signal on. All right, headed home here. Oh, so fun. So fun to twist the throttle on this thing. I think this guy was here last week. Woohoo! Headed back home here. Got a bad habit of leaving that signal on because I'm used to self-canceling signals. I guess if I owned the bike, I would get a lot more used to that. Oh, before we get off, I didn't show you the ergonomics. 31-inch seat height, very easy to flat foot. I'm 6'1" for reference. Neutral seating position, flat foot, both sides. No problem at all. It feels very light to me. Very manageable. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. So there you go. Triumph Bonneville T-120 Gold Line Edition. That was a lot of fun. Would I own this bike or buy this bike? Add this one to the collection? I sure would. This is my kind of bike. I love the retro style. I love that it does a lot of things well. You're going to hear nothing but positives from me on this one. And hey, shout out to my friends at Dream Machines of Texas for allowing me to take this beautiful motorcycle out for a little test ride. They really have a little bit of everything in there, and we're going to be riding everything, but they have baggers. You see there's some of the bikes here. They have three-wheeled vehicles like the Can-Ams. They have traditional retro bikes. They have adventure bikes. They have choppers. They have really everything in there. So thanks, Dream Machines. Check my friends out at Dream Machines. They ship everywhere in the U.S. You could even buy this one if you wanted to. I would if I had the money. All right, guys. Thanks for riding. Like and subscribe if you like this kind of motorcycle content. Keep it 2 down, and Moto Alonso is out.